Chair, Deborah Fig Sanders. I'm going to ask you to your left if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, Tom Reed, Vice Chair of PSTA.
Brian Scott, Pinellas County Commission.
And hello, I'm Brad Miller. I'm the CEO of PSTA.
Thank you and welcome everybody this morning. Do we have any public comment?
I don't have anything.
Okay, having no public comment, the only action item that we have today is the approval of the April 1st, 2026 meetings. I entertain a motion if everyone's had the opportunity to review for corrections.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. So today we're going to have informational items. And joining us is Ms. Trish Collins, who will provide our fiscal year 26 quarter two scorecard. Good morning, Ms. Collins.
Good morning, Chair. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you.
I know this is in your packet, but I do like to bring a hard copy of the scorecard.
Thank you.
It's a little bit easier to look at here. There you are. No scrolling.
Oh, correction, I need to move back. I see Commissioner Shear is with us. We need to entertain a motion to allow him to participate via Zoom.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioner Shear. I didn't see you.
Good morning, Chair. Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you all allowing me to visit on the Zoom call.
All right, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Ms. Collins.
Well, thank you. Well, good morning, Commissioners here and virtually. I'm Trish Collins, the Director of Human Resources at PSTA. And this is our mid-year performance scorecard covering now the second quarter of the year. As you'll recall, this scorecard is set up with the same three key principles as our new Vision 2030 strategic plan. We have metrics that are related to fiscal responsibility at the top, operational excellence in the middle, and community impact at the bottom. I'll draw your attention first to the lower right-hand corner. Our overall score for this point in the year is a 99 out of 100. And as you can see from all the green, we're doing pretty well in meeting most of our goals. The color coding is here to help make this a quick, at-a-glance, understandable report. The green means that we are meeting or exceeding the goal. The yellow means that we're within 10% of the goal. And the red is anything that is below 10% of the goal. There's obviously quite a lot of detail on here. I won't go through all of it, but I did want to pull out a couple of key things. In the fiscal responsibility section, we have a couple of very important metrics. Org 2, that is the second metric from the top, is our average net subsidy per ride. Devin Deal in our planning department brought the concept of the subsidy to the board, I believe last year, and gave some good data about how much we were subsidizing each ride. And that was placed on our scorecard this year so that we could monitor it and make some impact on it. We set our goal, as you can see, at less than or equal to a subsidy of $9.51 per ride. And here in the second quarter, we are actually achieving that at a rate of 7.46 subsidy per ride. That is calculated based on looking at the fare and other revenue sources compared to the cost of the ride. Now, in the spirit of our workshop coming up on Friday, I thought I would just highlight a couple of the projects coming on our strategic plan for next year that are going to also potentially impact that subsidy rate in a positive way. Next year, we'll be looking at updating the fare structure as a strategic plan project, and also looking to increase our revenue by seeking some naming rights and doing more advertisement within the buses. So there are some things in the works to help continue to improve that rate. The second thing that I want to highlight in the fiscal responsibility section is very important. It's our fare and equivalent revenue growth. We know that raising revenue is very important. And we are working towards that and are achieving our goal of having at least a 1% growth compared to last year's actual revenue. In the operational excellence section, I'll touch on the two that are not quite at the goal. Our first is Org 5, that's the ridership goal, also a critical goal that we're striving to meet. Our goal is 14.2 passengers per revenue hour. And as you can see, as of Q2, we're just a hair under that at 14.1. So that is improving, as you can see, quarter over quarter. One of the things that we have in our strategic plan next year to increase that number and increase our ridership is launching a project to educate our riders on the transit app. For those of you who have used the transit app, you know that it's very similar to using Uber or Google Maps. And if more of our riders know that riding the bus and understanding the schedules can be as easy as scheduling an Uber, we think that that will help people feel more inclined to use the service. We also see an increase over Q1. You can see we went from 13.82 riders to 14.1. We believe that there's a couple of reasons for that. One is the impact of the increase in ridership in March, which comes with spring break that was included in this quarter's numbers. But also we think that people are beginning to adjust their patterns to really make the most of the new CCBN schedules and network. They're getting used to those changes. And we believe that we see ridership picking up in part due to that. Finally, down in our community impact section, I'll highlight first Org 11. We are launching surveys this year for the first time on our ferry, Vanpool, and grouper. This past quarter in Q2, we did design and launch the survey on our grouper service. And that is being conducted with every ride that's delivered. In this upcoming quarter, Q3, we will be designing and launching the surveys for the ferry and the Vanpool. I'll also point out our, apologize, let me back up to our operational excellence. The last thing I'll point out is our safety metric. We are, as you can see, just a little bit below where we want to be with the number of collisions per 100,000 miles, or should I say we're just slightly above where we want to be with that. Our goal is to have equal to or less than 4 collisions per 100,000 miles, and you can see that as of Q2, we're at 4.6. There is some refresher training that is being launched in the operations department aimed at our drivers at just refreshing that safety awareness. And I'll also point out a project that's in the strategic plan for next year that is related to safety, and that is to replace the software that we use to track and analyze the accidents and incidents that happen in the county. With the software that we're using, it's close to a decade old, but we use it to track and look for trends with accidents, see where they're happening, what types of accidents are happening in what locations. And with that information, we're able to make strategic changes like moving a bus stop or emphasizing a particular kind of training for the drivers that are on a particular route. That database is becoming quite outdated, and so a project next year is to replace that with something that we think with modern technology is going to be give us an even greater advantage in looking at the root causes for those safety incidents. So that's a little report on where we are right now and some things that are coming in the future to impact these metrics. With that, I'll conclude and pass it back over to the committee for any questions or discussion.
Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Trish. Great report. I'm particularly interested in the average net subsidy per ride. I mean, the target goal of $9.51, and we're a good 20% below that now. What do you attribute that to? And is it sustainable?
That's a great question. The target was initially set based on looking at the comparison between the cost of the ride and the fare collected on the bus. And at that time, when Devin presented that information to you all, we were at around $10 per ride in subsidy. So we set this goal at the beginning of the year to improve on that. Since that time, I believe in discussion with some of the board members that Brad has had, there was a discussion that that wasn't really an accurate way to measure the subsidy and that we should be considering all of the revenue that we collect versus the cost of the ride. So not just fare box recovery, but but all of our revenues. And so that, when we compared that, we were actually dramatically better than the original $10 estimate that we had. So as we continue to measure this, we will right-size that goal so that it's more in line with the way we're measuring this.
Thank you so much, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions?
To that point, Mr. Vice Chair, well, I think perhaps the reason it's so much better is the reason that Trish just described, that maybe it's a little bit of a different definition. I will say that on True Farebox, we are seeing great improvements, a combination of better enforcement, working with our drivers to enforce the fare, and also some technology improvements. But I think in the month of March, my calculations, we actually received the most actual real money in the fare box that we've received since the pandemic, or in the last like 5 or 6 years. So I know that the number is driving down by real stronger enforcement and management of the fares that we have.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's in the right direction, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Good, okay, thank you. Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and great report, Trish.
Thank you.
Just remind me on the collisions, do we count those that we're only at fault at, or is it just all collisions?
No, this is all collisions.
Okay. And seeing on the note down there, it looked like it was an uptick on side swipes.
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I was gonna ask about that too, but that wasn't my question, other than since Commissioner Scott brought it up. All collisions, how many of these are at fault collisions?
That is a great question, and we do track that metric at the department level. I don't have that right offhand, but I could certainly get that to you.
And it's in the board packet every month, and it's about a quarter or a third are deemed
Or-
preventable.
Okay, preventable, okay, I like that term better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I don't have any additional questions for Ms. Collins, if.
I had
Commissioner Shear's got his hand up.
Oh, Commissioner Scheer, please do.
Thank you. I just a quick question on the revenue subsidy. If our goal was to reduce that by another $1 per ride, what would that equate to in either revenue or expenses that we need to cut? What would the total dollar amount be?
That is an excellent question. We may need to do a little bit of calculating on that, but that's a fantastic question.
Thank you. So, I mean, so trying to figure it out. Okay, so you get back to me on that?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you for that, Commissioner Scheer. Any other questions?
No, I'm trying to take my hand down. Okay.
All right, seeing no further questions, and we do have a action item in regards to Commissioner Scheer's question to provide to us as a follow-up, but other than that, thank you, Ms. Collins, for the report.
Thank you so much.
Now we will move into our May board agenda, and that will be our very own Mr. Miller.
Thank you. So in your packet and at your spot? No, not at your spot. In your packet is the draft agenda coming up for this end of May. All the items that are on the agenda are gonna go to either the finance or planning committee. The two major I would say major items that we're gonna have this month are the renewal of our mobility on demand contracts for PSTA Access. That is our program that we use Uber and Lyft and taxis to do, and their procurement has been conducted, and Al and his team are negotiating with I think the incumbent contractors mostly to come back to you with an award. Yeah, 5 years ago, PSDA was quite innovative in having this program when we signed on these contracts. Now, the program has really grown and is a major part of what we do. Second thing, which we're going to have a public hearing a required public hearing between the Finance Committee next week and the Planning Committee on essentially our capital program for fiscal year '27, which is our what we call our program of projects that we're gonna put into our federal grant as well. And since almost all of our capital program is what we put in, is paid for by the feds, that essentially we'll give a presentation on all of the capital projects that we are planning on putting in the budget for next year, and then have that public hearing. Two other items of note. We're gonna come back. Al is currently negotiating with this company. We're gonna come back to the Finance Committee and then to the PSA Board with a proposal to use a federal grant that we received to purchase some innovative technology to allow our customers to register their discounted fares online. And this time, when we come to the Finance Committee, we're gonna pitch it. We're going to hopefully allow the federal grant to pay for more of the implementation and management of the system over a period of years. And second, it's a real key, it's a real needed project in this whole idea of enforcing our fares. The Flamingo fares, the Flamingo plastic fares, and that technology is now 10 years old. And it's not gonna go away permanently, but it is, we're finding that it is subject to fraud, potential fraud. The Flamingo fare cards that we distribute can be shared with people. If we don't know the total number of people that are doing this, but if you're a veteran and you go and you get your veteran Flamingo card, you can very easily just hand that to your son and then and let him use it, even though he's not a veteran or whatever, something like that. And in addition, the Flamingo fare cards are going up in price. They cost us close to $4 a card to purchase and hand out. We've worked with the union doesn't like them as well, so we'd like to reduce the use of that. We have a great solution, and it's growing every single month. Is the new technology of just using your debit or credit card. People are using their debit and credit cards more than any other fare type now. It's so popular, and I think it's a lot less likely for fraud. People are not gonna give their credit card or debit card to somebody else, maybe their family member, but probably not. So what this technology would allow us to do is to stop issuing the Flamingo cards to, say, veterans, and instead they can register a debit card with us as a veteran. When they tap it, it would know that they are a veteran, and then they wouldn't charge them. Or a transportation disadvantaged person, or a senior citizen, same thing. Anyway, that's the idea with it. And then last but not least, I think I've talked to everybody in this meeting and most of the PSA board members now about a claim settlement that we have related to the Clearwater Ferry. That accident that occurred a year ago, PSDA, the insurance company, this Clearwater Ferry and their insurance company, and Mr. Jeff Knight have all been subject to claims against us by 38 claimants and the riders on the ferry, and there's a proposed settlement that would get PSDA and the Clearwater Ferry out of it. that we'll take to the PSTA board. We got renewal of our Ring Central, our phone system, which people are not thrilled about, but we'll do a renewal and then maybe see if we can find something better. And then the annual agreement for Ford Pinellas where they provide us $80,000, 90?
72.
What?
72,000.
$72,000 Ford Pinellas provides to PSTA each year. Should be a fun meeting.
Well, but those are on the consent agenda unless someone pulls
They
them,
are.
so.
They'll go to the finance committee.
Okay, and I would love if we could, if we can get Mr. Miller on May 27th to add to the awards and recognition. And I will follow up with Ms. Rachel
Where we are going to
during the awards and recognition.
Yeah.
On May 27th. He is a young author for the other commissioners, wrote his first book at 14, and his last book is it's an educational phonics book, and it takes place solely on a bus.
Oh, wow.
So we'll send the link out, and I just thought it was the cutest thing ever, that he chose to use the bus, traveling around town to educate our young minds. So that would be a part of the awards and
Yeah.
recognition piece, okay.
It's a good promotion.
Yeah, very good promotion, and thank you, Darden, for agreeing to work with me on that.
The lady that spoke to our PSA board that worked at Publix and rode the bus,
Yes.
I guess she's now being promoted by Publix, or she's getting in a promotion for Publix.
Yeah, that was a
You
great
never know who watches
testimony.
our meetings.
That was a great testimony. Any other business, commissioners? Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question. Brad, going back to that fair media that you were talking about, so would that work for all fairs? So somebody buys a monthly bus pass and they just walk in and click with their debit card, then it would know that?
Well, ultimately, I think it will go to that, yeah.
It'd be great if it would, because then
I know.
you just kind of eliminate all the fair media and just put it on a debit card and be done with it.
What we're, the start of it, and the grant is paying for a partnership with this thing you might be familiar with called login.gov, which is a federal database that connects to federal kinds of things like veteran status and your social security age. And what I've talked to some other people about is can the software not only connect to login.gov, but other things like your own database or like for monthly pass holders or something like that. It seems like it could.
Because if it could work for, TD monthly pass holders, and I mean, to me, it's just, that could be, if that could solve all of our fare collections.
Yes,
that
and
would
then
be
if we
wonderful.
could get rid of the Flamingo cards,
Right.
it would be much more secure
Right,
and lower cost fare collection system.
right, okay.
I know we're gonna hear about it at the finance committee, but before I forget, is it gonna be something where somebody can tap their phone to get in? We're gonna put the card
If
on
you
their
have a
phone?
card.
Yeah, you can do
Just
that
like
now.
any other.
If
okay.
you, yeah.
Good.
If you have your debit or credit card on your phone, you
Yeah.
can do that.
Thank you. So going into other business, I know that this is the executive committee meeting, and with it being the executive committee, I look at us having access, even though we don't sit on legislation, we don't, legislative, we don't sit on planning, some of the other business topics that we discuss can be discussed here. And the reason why I say that is because we did have our legislative committee meeting this morning, that I think the executive committee also needs to be privy to some of the information that impacts us overall, like that. So Brad, I'm going to, number one, want to give some of the good news to the executive committee about the San Fran grant. I'll let you go ahead and kind of give us a brief update as to what happens and what's going to impact us legislatively, but as an executive committee, we need to know what's going on, even if you don't sit on those committees. So if you would, Mr. Miller, give us an overview.
So at the last PSA board meeting, the PSA board authorized purchase of one of two possible vessels, the San Francisco Bay Breeze as our priority, and and the San Juan Clipper from Seattle and the as a the Candy Stripe is a backup.
Yeah, that's a
right, I'm
backup.
And the good news I got on Friday was that lots of thanks to PSDA's efforts and Harry Glenn and the San Francisco executive director called me and said that he had gotten a call from USDOT that they had finally approved of the grant for their replacement of their ferry boat, so that he was putting on the sale of the Bay Breeze to PSDA on his May 13th board agenda. And he felt like that would be no problem. He still thought he was confident that it would pass to sell us the Bay Breeze in San Francisco. That means,
One down, one to go.
well, and then the San Juan Clipper in Seattle is owned by a private whale watching entity. And so Al just told me that Mark Hubbard is gonna go out to Seattle and San Francisco in 2 weeks and do the sea trials on all of those and then arrange for the delivery of maybe both boats in at the same time to here. So very positive. Thanks to a lot of efforts by us. We were in DC and Harry, Representative Luna has office made a couple phone calls. I know Representative Castor did. Senator Moody's office made phone calls on our behalf. So finally, just took a while.
Wanted to kind of share that. That was the highlight of the meeting. Of course, we talked about the redistricting some, but we really wanted to focus on the impact of PSTA. And I just always wonder, just like as the executive committee, we need to know what's going on all committees, you would think. I know we can come and sit in on those meetings, but I just, would love for the executive committee members to be abreast to everything that's going on PST. Right. So with there being no other updates, do you have anything else?
One other
to add?
update, I put a sort of working draft of the agenda for this Friday's PSDA workshop. We hope, I know, Madam Chair, I don't believe you'll be able to make it, but I hope Commissioner Share and we can get as many people as we can come to it. It would be sort of an intro. As you can see, we're gonna kind of hear from all the different departments on their budget, so their budgeted trends and sort of some major issues that they're a major issue that they're working with. We're going to meet here in the lobby, and then take a little mini bus ride over to, and then have the workshop in the maintenance training classroom, which will be exciting. And Henry will give a tour, some of the stuff that he's working on, and then we'll sort of finish with a breakout session around our strategic plan. Before adjourning. A nice tight 2-hour meeting, a 2-hour sort of intro budget, PSDA budget 101 kind of thing.
Thank you, and I did have that on my notes to let our vice chair know you will be the one on Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, I can't be here, but it looks like it's going to be a great conversation and a budget workshop. Did we schedule the second one yet?
June 5th,
Alright.
is the second workshop.
Alright,
Madam Chair, one other quick thing.
yes, please.
Brad, just curious if there was any progress, any update on the recovery or attempted recovery of the funds that
Oh, yeah.
company for the Microsoft renewal. Have we had any success in tracking any of that down?
Do you have any update?
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Come on up.
They're working on it. I know.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Al Burns, your highly motivated procurement director.
And highly motivated collection manager?
We're doing our best. The last correspondence that I had with the deputy's office, I think, was in approximately the beginning of April. And I think they had like 30 more days left on it, that they're doing their investigation. And then after that, they escalated to the state level. I do wanna, acknowledge Commissioner Scher's efforts. He reached out to us directly and he's helping us along with that effort as well. I'll make sure that from now on that I'll give Brad, when I have my one-on-ones with Brad, I'll give him an update.
Okay.
That way I'm not just sitting here just saying stuff, that you'll actually see progress.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that question, Commissioner Scott, because I
Thanks, Al.
completely
You're welcome, sir.
overlooked that one. Okay, so we'll get that.
To your point, one thing that Debbie announced at the legislative committee that will help us with our revenue is when the federal government finally reinstituted FEMA.
Hmm.
You got a call, we're gonna get a check finally for our hurricane damage.
Checks, yeah.
Checks,
About
finally,
it's about $859,000.
finally checks.
Oh, really? Well, that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Was that for facility damage or vehicle damage or all the above?
For time that we spent and
Okay.
some minor damages at Grand Central, et cetera, so,
Got it, okay. That's encouraging.
yeah.
All
I think we
right.
counted, what, 600, Amanda, 650,000 individual trips on evacuation.
Yeah,
So
okay.
It's a lot of service.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything else. Does anyone else have anything else that they would like to contribute?
No, Madam Chair?
Okay, well, seeing no further requests, our next meeting will be June 3rd, 10 a.m. here. The executive committee meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
So, yeah, so